Well, so many different views and so many different angles, of course, to the ANC's NEC meeting currently underway at the moment, and, of course, around the dynamics within the ANC and within the country itself around the Parliamentary panel finding on Phala. Khanya Vilakazi is a political analyst at the University of Mpumalanga. Khanya, good afternoon to you and thanks for your time. How do you see the situation in the ANC right now? Do you see the NEC voting to remove Ramaphosa this week, or do you think they're going to rally around him for various reasons?
I think it would be remiss if the ANC had to rally around President Cyril Ramaphosa. I think they should have learned by rallying behind former President Jacob Zuma during the Nkandla scandal. I think what the ANC ought to do right now is yet again try and protect its image beyond the individual, because the downfall that the ANC has faced in the past or recent years has been this congregating around an individual and supporting this individual wholeheartedly.
There's a lot going on, particularly in the province that you're in Mpumalanga, because the one person who could really benefit from all of this has been absolutely silent. If Ramaphosa resigns or is recalled or whatever, normally, under the Constitution, the Deputy President, David Mabuza, would take over as President. And as far as I can see, he said absolutely nothing in public. How do you read that?
Well, I think he himself, as Deputy President of the ANC, has been greatly suppressed. I personally have not heard any public statements by the Deputy President since 2017 going into the elective conference. I think that's the biggest travesty. But people, and many people in the province have said, underestimate the cat at your own peril.
Do you think the fact that you've seen a very small number of branch nominations, I mean, when those were released, it was really a very small number. Is that part of the problem? He doesn't have much of a political constituency, or so it seems?
Yes, I think one of the shortcomings of the 2017 elective conference and the decisions that were made by himself and members of his delegation was the fact that those that had believed were siding with him, abandoned him after the elections, and those that he had adopted would never trust him because of how he had turned against those he trusted. So he was really stuck between a rock and a hard place because nobody seems to believe in him.
So what happens now? We have President Ramaphosa. I mean, does he just stay on for a little bit? Do they put someone else there? Do we wait until the conference and only then see the balance of power?
I think the one thing that we should actually take into cognizance is the fact that this is a prime example of how the state and the party are very hard to differentiate in South Africa. The fact that President Cyril Ramaphosa is chairs the top 6 meeting and the NEC meeting means quite differently that every single decision that is adopted could be doctored by his own spinning. And this has been the downfall of the ANC, that there is no adequate accountability. There's a clip that I saw beginning of the elections last year of an ANC member speaking power to the top 6, saying that they currently have an NEC that is ineffective to hold the president to account. And the fact that the president is the person that needs to report to himself in the ANC when he's president of the country is then something that these blurring of lines can actually happen. Because if the president of the country wasn't head of the ANC would simply remove him and put somebody in. If it is the interest of the greater good to have him, to have an ANC member as president of the country.
The president basically went to the NEC today and then asked that he be recused because the meeting is about him. He did the same thing in the National Working Committee yesterday. Does that surprise you? I mean, lots of people, do things like this, but lots of people also want to be parts of meetings or a part of a meeting that will have a huge impact on them. And I mean, this will have a huge impact on President Ramaphosa.
Yes, I think he's playing it a strategy. I think he truly does believe that those members that are in the NEC that support or see things the way that he does will defend him to their last breath. And I think by him not being there, it also adds ability to those that fear reprisal to actually speak up and say what they think as ordinary members of the ANC.
So we're going to have the situation in Parliament tomorrow where, from what we can see, ANC MPs are likely to vote to protect the president. Some of the opposition parties, Julius Malema was on our television earlier, basically talking about how his members will vote to remove the president. Are we going to have another stormy session tomorrow?
I think we will, but if the vote goes to an open ballot in terms of it's not a secret ballot, then I think most MPs will toe the party line. And that's the biggest travesty yet again about our parliamentary system, that those that swore an oath to the Republic and the Constitution will then vote down party lines and not an independent thought about a report that was submitted for their consideration. And that is the biggest reason why there needs to be a direct separation between the party and government in South Africa, because the minute party members start voting along party lines, then that does not aid in the project of democracy in itself.
Khanya Vilakazi, thank you, political analyst at the University of Mpumalanga. Really appreciate the time.